Hello everyone, welcome to Graphic Designers Workshop. Let us see how to create this Standee poster in Photoshop. So let us start. So what are Standee posters? Standee posters are basically the posters that we see in many shopping malls, stores, shops, and they are basically related to the products or advertisements which are actually related to that particular company or some other company. So they are actually the posters that are placed on a stand. We can see them in many places. You can see them in your nearby a bakery, or let us say a restaurant, or for that matter even a company in which you are working. Right. Standees come in different sizes. We will be designing a standee which is 36 inches in width and 72 inches in height, so which is 3 by 6 feet, right? So now without any further ado, let us start designing the standee poster. Let us first create the document for our standee poster. So the document, we are going to call it Standee Poster, and we'll be giving it 36 inches as width and 72 inches as height. And the resolution is very important. Don't put a very high resolution, because we also have to keep in mind the file size. So the file size should not be too much. So let's keep it 100 resolution, so that the file size will not be too big. And then all we have to do is simply click on create. So now we have created the document required for designing our standee poster. I have also prepared the content for our standee poster. It is actually an eatery or something like a restaurant, and the name of that eatery is Fun Day. So we have all the content over here, and also we have the images required for our standee poster. So just we have all the images over here, and we have also the content is ready. So just we are ready to go now. Right. So the first thing we'll be doing is we will be designing the background for our standee poster. Right. So what we'll do is we will start with the background. So I will be taking a ellipse tool. Just simply create an ellipse, and also make sure that you select the shape here for our ellipse. So let's create it one more time. Right. So we have created an ellipse, and if you want perfect ellipse, always hold shift. Right. So then we will select the path selection, and then we can actually change its position here. Right. So we can also slightly scale it down. We can rotate it. Right. So now this looks fine. Right. And we'll give it some random color. Then we will be applying a gradient to it. Right. So once we have created this ellipse, so the next thing we are supposed to do is we will then apply a gradient. So just you have to select the shape, and then we will apply a greenish gradient. We'll use light green and dark green shades, so something like this. And also we can use a radial gradient, and for the radial gradient we will put the light color inside and dark color outside, so something like this. So now we are done with the gradient. So now we will put some design inside this green ellipse. Let's put a design inside this green ellipse. So I have downloaded the design already. So it is a race image. So we can also create this race in Photoshop, but to save time I have simply downloaded it. So just let us keep it like this. Right, then we will use the clipping mask to put this race inside this ellipse. So all you have to do is simply hold Alt and come in between these two layers and click. So now the rays are inside this green ellipse. We can slightly change the size of these rays and also the position, right, slightly over here. Right, now it's fine. So then what we'll do is we will use a blending mode to blend this rays inside this green ellipse, so that even you can see the color of that ellipse as well as the rays. Right, now what we'll do is we don't want the rays to be too spread out actually. So we don't want the rays to be completely covering the ellipse. So what we can do is we can apply a mask to it. So simply hold Alt and click on this mask icon. Right, so then what we'll do is we will use a brush. We will use a soft rounded brush, and then we'll slightly increase the size of it. Okay, and we will use a white color as foreground, and just we can dab a little bit so that we can see the effect, the rays actually. Right, so now this looks nice. And in case you want to reduce the opacity a little bit, you can reduce it. Right, now it looks really interesting. Okay, now we will bring the remaining images. So this is an eatery, and the title of this eatery is Fun Day. So we will be placing the title, but before that we will place an image. So I will open the image of this burger. So we will select this burger. We can use the object selection tool and we will select the burger. Right, so we can apply just a small amount of feather. We don't have to apply a large feather value. We want sharp edges actually. Right, and now we will drag this burger and place it over here. Right, now this looks fine. Scale it down a little bit. Right, so now we have to put the title. So the title is Fun Day. So we'll select the text and we'll just click here and we will just type the word Fun Day. We will use a font which is Arial rounded, and let's scale it up. And we can actually put a value here. We'll put 300. Right, let's keep it over here, and we'll also increase it even further. I think we can put 350 points here. Right, and the next thing we'll do is we will also give some gradient to the text. We can give orange and yellow gradient to the text. So all you have to do is just open the layer styles, and in layer styles we'll just turn on the gradient here. So we will use a pure orange color and also a pure yellow color, so something like this. And we can use a linear gradient, and then we will also give some stroke to it, and we'll give a red stroke, and we will also put the position as outside, and also we will give some drop shadow to it. Reset all the values that you have changed, go back to the original values and start from the scratch. So the blend mode has to be normal for the drop shadow, and let's slightly increase the size. That's it. So we can slightly increase the text. Right, and we can do something more interesting here. We can actually place the text over an ellipse. So we'll create one more ellipse here. So simply hold shift and create an ellipse, and let's give it a different color here. Let's give it something, a lime color, or a bluish color. Let's give it a bluish color, a bluish gradient. Don't take too hard colors, so it's all right if we take a slightly light bluish color. And we will select the reflected gradient, and we'll change the angle a little bit. Right, now it looks like a silky gradient, and then we will give it a stroke. Also for the stroke we will use a gradient, and we can use a reddish gradient for the stroke. Right, and we can use reflected again. Right, so we can slightly increase the size of the stroke. Right, and also we'll give some drop shadow for this ellipse. Right, so that's it. So now we will scale it down. We will try to adjust it over here. We'll put the text, Standee text, over here inside this ellipse. And we will scale both the ellipse and text together. Right, we'll also put a caption in this place. So for caption I will be taking a rounded rectangle tool. Simply select the rounded rectangle tool, and we can increase the radius for this rounded rectangle tool. We can keep it somewhere around 200. I think we'll put 200, and then make sure that the option over here is shape, and we will create one simple rounded rectangle, right? And we will give it a gradient. So we'll give it orange gradient, the same orange gradient that we have used for the text. So simply select orange and yellow, right? And then we will use reflected, and the center color has to be light. So simply click on this reverse option, right? And then we'll also give some red stroke, right? And over this rounded rectangle we will put the caption, a smaller caption. Actually there are two captions, so one caption will put it over here, and the rest of the caption will put it in this place, this empty place. So the caption is, it's treat every day. Just copy this, and we will just select the text, and what we'll do is we will use a font that is Great Vibes. So I have downloaded this font from 1001fonts.com. so we'll select this text and we'll paste it. So it's treat every day. So we can give it a red color, a pure red color, right? And now we will just scale it down. Let's keep it over here. Right. So we can actually try to change the color. We can check whether red is looking good or some other color looks good. So let's give it white. Okay, now white is not so interesting. Okay, this color is better. Okay, right, we'll stick to this color. Just make the I capitals, right? That's it, right? So there is one more caption that will put it in this place. Here we have some empty space, right? Try to cover these empty spaces. So the next caption is, it's street, let's meet and eat. Okay, so I will select this, just copy this, and the way we are going to put it is first we'll change the font. We'll change the font to Arial Rounded, and we'll create a text block. Okay, I think I have messed up this text. I think we have changed the font for this one. So its font has to be a Great Vibes only because it was highlighted. So let's bring it back to Great Vibes, right? Okay, now we have to select some other layer, right? Now we will create a text block. So to create a text block, don't just click on your document, but we have to drag so that a text block is created. Now we will paste the text. So we'll again change the font to Arial Rounded, right? And now we will change the size of the text. Right. So we have to just adjust it, adjust the text properly. We don't want center alignment. So what we can do is, because it is a paragraph, we'll just open the paragraph panel from Windows, and we can give it a justify. We can give it a justify option, and also we will just put the text in different lines. Right, now it looks fine. Right, so we'll just keep it over here. We can slightly adjust the alignment. Okay, now it looks fine. Right, and then we'll give it a pure white color. White looks attractive here. Right, slightly will increase the size of the text. Right, and to give it a little bit extra attraction, we can give some drop shadow to the text. So just open the layer style, turn on the drop shadow, and we'll slightly reduce the size of the drop shadow, and we'll also just slightly increase the distance. That's it. Right, so the next thing we are supposed to do is we have the next content, that is 30% off hurry. So this one we have to place it on the top left corner. So what we'll do is we'll create a simple rectangle. So here we have the rectangle tool, and make sure that the option is shape. Just drag a rectangle, and we'll give it some color here. So let's give it a pink color, or you can say magenta. Right, so then what we'll do is first we will put the text. So the text is So the text is 30% off today, hurry. So we'll copy this and then we'll paste it over here. Right, let's put it over here. Let's increase the size of the text, and we'll change the color to pure white. Right, we'll also change the size of this rectangle. Scale it down. Right, now what we can do is we can either merge the layers, merge the rectangle layer as well as the text layer, or we can group it. Okay, if you want to do some additional changes on this, we can actually group it, or we can merge it. If you don't want any more changes, we can merge it. So we'll select both these layers, and we'll just group it actually, because in case we want to do some changes again, the text will be separate, will be having a separate layer. So we'll say 30% off. Right, and then just select the text, make it small. So we will rotate it, so we can zoom it here. Let's zoom it, and we'll rotate it. So we'll just keep it like this. Right, and we will reduce the size of the text. So we'll open the group, and then we will make the text small, so that we are able to see the entire sentence. Right, right? So now we have put the text, right? We can give some slight drop shadow to it, a very slight, and we can also increase the size value, right? Now it looks fine. Right, so we have completed the top section. Now we have to concentrate on the bottom part. So before that, we'll do a simple thing here. So what we'll do is, here we have both the ellipse and this design. So we'll take a duplicate of the ellipse again, one more duplicate, and then for this ellipse, so for this ellipse we will give a different color. So it will be a little bit interesting. Right, and we can use a reflected gradient, and then what we'll do is we will actually just scale it down, so we can see some design. Right, now it looks fine. Right, so we can actually give some layer style to it also, and we can give some yellow color stroke, so it will add some extra attraction to it, and also a drop shadow. Right, so now we are done with the top part of our standee. Now we will focus on the bottom part. For the bottom section, here we will start with callers 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is our customer care number. So what we'll do is we will select a rounded rectangle. So the rounded rectangle we will be placing over here. So if you want this much roundness for the rounded rectangle, here we have put the radius as 200 pixels. If you don't want this much roundness, you can reduce it. Okay, so but I will stick to 200 value, right? And what we'll do is we will give it a bluish gradient. So just simply select dark blue color and also a light blue color, right? So something like this, and we will use a reflected as a gradient style, and make sure that the light color is in between, so it looks attractive, right? So then what we'll do is we'll simply give it a stroke. So just a stroke, and we want the stroke to be in red color. Let's reduce the size, and let's give it drop shadow, and also reduce the size. We can slightly increase the distance, right? This is better, and also we'll reduce the opacity for the shadow, right? Now we will just type, will not type, we will just copy and paste it. Just copy this call and paste it. So we want this to be in yellow color, pure yellow. So we will now place this number over here, and we'll slightly reduce the size. We'll change the font to impact, right? Here we will use small u, right? Slightly increase the size, right? So we can group these things, and we can just type colors, and we can make it a little bit big actually. Right. So now we will focus on this section. So here we will be placing 3 different images. So I have already downloaded images. We will just open those images. So we'll start with this one, Sunday image. So this is the Sunday image. So what I will do is I will first select this Sunday. So we can we don't have to select it with this any of the selection tools here. We can just move it. Okay, we can move the entire image, and just will close all these unwanted images. Okay, and then we'll just put it over here. So we'll scale it down. So what we'll do is we will put these images, or whatever images that I'm going to get now, we'll put these images inside ellipses. So like as a clipping mask. So I will create one ellipse, a perfect ellipse. Just hold shift and drag so that you will get a perfect ellipse. We can just give some color to it so that we can identify. So then what we'll do is so we want the image to be inside this ellipse. So we will slightly scale the image, and we will hold Alt and click in between the image layer and the ellipse layer. Right. Then we'll slightly adjust the image. The Sunday should be fully visible here. Right, now it looks fine. We can merge both these layers just by hitting Ctrl E. Right. So then what we'll do is make it a little bit small. We will take 2 more duplicates, and we will be putting some more images over here. Then just take 1 more and just place it over here. Right. So now we got 3 images. So we will be putting different recipes inside these 2 images. Right. So we can properly name the layers. The center one is Sunday. So the middle one is, so this is fried rice, and this layer is pizza. Right. So then I will get the images, the rest of the images. So here we have a pizza image. So simply we'll close the image with which we have completed our task, and then we'll just simply drag this. Right. We'll place the pizza inside this right side image. So what we'll do is yeah, here, so just scale it down, hold Alt and simply click in between the pizza image layer and the pizza, the ellipse that you see here below it. So this is a clipping mask, and we can actually scale it down. You can zoom it and scale. We can make it big like this. Right, now it looks fine. Right, And now we will merge these two layers. Simply simply select both the layers and hit Ctrl E. So and name it again pizza. Right. So the next thing we are supposed to do is we will also change the fried rice here. So we'll just open the fried rice image. Simply just let's close these pizza images. Simply drag it and place it over here. Scale it down. We can center scale the image all the time. Okay, to center scale we can hold Alt and drag the corner. Right. And then we'll just hold Alt and click in between these two layers. Right. Perfect. And then we'll merge these two layers and we'll give it a name, fried rice. Right. Right. So we got all the images, and to make them interesting, so we can do one more thing. We will create one more rectangle here, but we'll create a rounded rectangle, but this time we will reduce its radius. We don't want too much radius for this. We'll keep it around somewhere around 150, I guess. Let's check 150. Yeah, 150 is fine. We will select the gradient for this. So we will give a brown gradient to this. Simply double click on the slider and we can give a dark brown color. Right. And we can use the reflected gradient style. Right. Then what we'll do is we can keep it behind the Standee image, something like this. And we can also give a stroke, a white stroke for the Standee image. Right. And then we'll take one more rounded rectangle, one more duplicate, and we will keep it behind this fried rice image. We'll scale it down. Right. And just keep it behind. And also for the fried rice we will give a stroke, and we can change the color. If you want to keep the same color, it's okay, but we'll try to change the color for this rounded rectangle. We'll give it a greenish gradient. So something like this. Right. Then we'll take one more duplicate. We'll keep it behind the pizza, so we can align it properly. Make sure that the alignment is perfect. Right. Right. Now it looks fine. And we'll change the color for this one also. We'll apply a bluish gradient. Right. And also for this pizza we will apply a simple white stroke. Right. So then what we'll do is we will group all these images and put them in a separate group actually. So we'll select till here and group it. So these are actually the special recipes that are available every week. So week specials. So what we'll do is we'll just put the name week specials group. Okay. and then we can slightly scale them down because we have to put a heading over here, right? So then we'll put the heading, so that is weekly specials. We can simply copy it, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and we will change its color to pure red, and we will also give it the font Arial rounded, right? So we can just keep it over here, and we will make the S into capitals, right? Now it looks better, right? So the next thing we'll do is we will put the names of these recipes. So the center one is Sunday. So what we'll do is first we'll copy this, and then we'll simply select the text, and then we'll paste it. Snowy Sunday. We'll scale it down. Just we'll keep it over here. You can scale it down even further like this, right? Right, and then we'll duplicate the text, and we can give the names for these things also. So this is actually garden pizza, so just copy this and paste it. We can slightly make it small, right? Then we can just keep it over here. And we'll take one more duplicate, and then we'll just keep it exactly parallel to this garden pizza, and this is for the fried rice one. You can use arrow keys to move it left or right, right? So this is actually the jumbo fried rice. Just copy this and paste. So we can make it into two-line text, and we can center align this. We can center align the text and just keep it over here, right? Right. So the next thing is, so we have to put some small content over here, small text content. So that is here we have this option, this thing, actually it's a paragraph. So get points for every visit to Fun Day and enjoy coupons with 80% discounts. Once points reach the figure of 100, you will receive one free lunch offer. So we'll just copy this, right? So let us copy this, and we will create a paragraph text. So to create a paragraph text, we should not click, but we have to create a text block. So simply create a text block like this, and then we have to paste, right? So what we'll do is we'll just highlight the text, we'll open the paragraph panel, and we will make it actually justify. So we'll justify the text. So then we'll have to slightly adjust the text here, so something like this, right? And we can scale it up. So we can adjust the text properly, right? we have to do some trial and error here, so that we can adjust the text properly. So just a minute. Yeah, right. So now we have adjusted the text. We can slightly make it small. Okay, and what we'll do is we will give it a pure black color, and also we can slightly reduce the opacity for the text. We don't want the text to be too dark, right? So we'll keep the opacity around okay, 80% is okay, right? So just we are finishing off our Standee. So we only have one last section here, so that is we will just create one shape at the bottom. So we can create a shape using ellipse, or we can create it with a rectangle also. So let's create it with a rectangle. So just we'll select the red color here. So just finish it off, and what we'll do is instead of just keeping it like this, we can give it some curvature. So the way to give it a curvature is we can just use the add anchor point. Just put a point and then make it a curvy shape, make it into a curvy shape like this, and I'll adjust it like this. Right. Right. So now it looks better. So at the bottom we will just put our address, the address of this restaurant, or you can say eatery, and we can also give some gradient for this rectangle to give it an extra attraction. So we can give it a pinkish gradient. We can use a pink and the light pink, and we can use a reflected here, so something like this. You can slightly adjust it. Right. We will just reduce the dark shade here. Okay, we will make it a little bit lighter. Okay, now it looks fine. Right. Then we'll put the address of our eatery. So here the address is there. Just simply copy the address, and then we'll just select the text, and we'll just click it, then we'll paste it. We'll adjust the text properly. It is a multi-line text, so just we will create 2 lines, and we'll reduce the size. Right. So we can remove this word address here. Actually we don't want this, and then we'll scale it up. Make it a little bit big. Center align the text. And also we will slightly increase the size of this pink section or this pink rectangle. We can just use the direct selection tool, then increase its size, right? And then we'll also just nudge the text or move the text slightly upwards. That's it. So we have completed our Standee. So just we have a little more to do. So we can actually double click on it, and we can actually give it, sorry, not this one, not this red one, the green one, the green ellipse. For the green ellipse we can give a white stroke, something like this, so that it looks more interesting, right? So now we have completed our Standy poster. So what we are left to do now? So we have to export it. So to export it, what we'll do is first we'll create a common layer. So the way to create a common layer is we can simply use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl Alt Shift and E. So now we have created a common layer. So then the next thing we are supposed to do is we'll just go to File and we'll click on Save As, and we will save it on our desktop, and we'll select the JPEG format and we'll give the name Standy Poster, and we can save it. Yeah, this is actually in RGB color mode, but if we want to have it printed, so we can do one thing. Instead of saving it as a JPEG, so we will first convert it into CMY color mode. Okay, so because the printers are generally compatible for CMYK color mode, so what we'll do is before giving output of this, we will first convert it into CMYK color mode. So we'll go to image mode and we'll select CMYK. Here a message pops up that says changing modes can affect the appearance of layers. Merge layers before mode change. So we don't want to merge, because if we merge, all the layers will be gone, and again if you want to do some editing, you won't find layers. So the best thing we'll do is we'll click on don't merge and just we'll click OK. So once you just click OK, see the color will be slightly lighter. Now we can simply save it as a JPEG file. So go to File, Save As, and we can select the JPEG format, and we will save it on our save it inside our folder. So we'll just say Standee Poster and simply click Save. So we have completed our Standee poster. Now we can see the output. So we'll simply open with Photos. So this is the Standee poster and it is ready for print. All you have to do is just give it for print and you will get a Standee poster which is having 6 feet as height and 3 feet as width. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do subscribe, like, share. If you want to say something, do comment. See you again.